How's it going, guys? Welcome to VFG Movie Reviews, and this is my review for Fade to Black. Guys, if you could, give us a like, give us a subscribe, help us grow. Thank you so very much. Now, let's get right into this review. Now, this movie is very interesting. I've been wanting to watch this movie and review this movie for a while now. I just picked it up from Shout Factory, which is now called Groove or some shit like that, or it's Partnership. I don't know. This movie is really cool. We have our main actor, Dennis Christopher, playing Eric Binford, who he works in this movie poster shop, like restoring old movie posters and stuff like that. This kid is heavily into movies. His whole room, when you first see him, his whole room is just decked out with Marilyn Monroe stuff, old movies. He quotes old movies. He knows directors and all this stuff, and it's kind of consumed his life. I would totally be this kid. I would totally be this kid if I didn't ever now and then go out and touch some grass. I would probably 100% be this kid. He's had a bad childhood. He's had just not the best upbringing from his aunt, who's in a wheelchair, that you find out later is actually his mom, that she's been lying to him, or some weird shit like that. But things go down. He kills his aunt because she's a miserable old person. She resents him because she wanted to be a movie star or a dancer or something like that, and he ends up killing her. And then it kind of takes him down this road of wanting to kill more. But he meets this girl who ends up standing him up later in the movie. But he ends up doing a thing to get her back in his graces, which I believe he was gonna do a murder-suicide thing with her or something like that. She looks exactly like Marilyn Monroe, and he is obsessed with it. Matter of fact, there's a scene where he just fucking jerking it to this big poster of Marilyn Monroe on the ceiling, and he has a vision of Marilyn kind of like strip teasing and shit like that. But so he dresses up as these different characters, and he ends up going to kill people. He dresses up like Dracula and kills this prostitute and ends up licking her blood and all this other shit, and it keeps deep diving. He meets this director, and the one thing you don't do when you meet a director is tell him, hey, here's a movie I came up with, because they're just gonna rip you off. And he does. He steals the kid's movie, so he kind of dresses up like a gangster type character with the, yeah, see, you're gonna do this, yeah, see, I think he's doing Cagney, James Cagney, and he shoots him up at a barber's. He rents an old car and everything, and he gets this gun. It's really interesting. His boss is a completely dick to him, so he dresses up like the Mummy and scares his boss so bad his boss has a heart attack. Mickey Rourke is in this movie, playing a D-bag. Perfect role for Mr. Mickey Rourke. He ends up getting into a shootout. The kid dresses up like this cowboy with this really cool prosthetic mask on. Everything in this movie, the makeup, the way everything is set up in this, and even at the end when she's dressed up as Marilyn, he's dressed up as the count, not Dracula, but the Transylvanian prince or some shit like that. The costuming looks great, everything, and he does his shootout with Mickey Rourke where he shoots Mickey Rourke to death. and all this other shit. And the whole time he's going through this, like, you can see his confidence building and building. Other than he uses it for the bad, which is killing people. It like helps him bring out himself and shit like that, which is, I mean, kind of a good thing, but he ends up using it for the bad. We have this doctor who is ultimately he wants to save Eric, but it just doesn't really work out. His name's the actor is named Tim Thomason, and he plays Dr. Jerry, and he's like trying to get like these profiles done on these serial killers and shit like that, for he can help the cops. The main like police chief is your most comical police chief ever, and he just yells all the time. He like doesn't talk calmly or anything like that, and he goes from, you know, we're not going to do this to the kid, to just letting this kid get shot. So at the end, they find out he's doing the thing. He's got this girl who's doing the Marilyn Monroe bit, and he ends up drugging her, which she seems really, like, it's really interesting because she seems really into it, but he ends up like drugging her through the whole thing and giving her drugs as he's going through. They walk to Man's Chinese Theater and into it, and he's giving her more drugs, and like his whole thing is obviously to make her submissive, but even before he gives her the drugs, she seems oddly into it. So it's kind of a why moment if you really think about it. But the only thing I would have to say bad about this movie, and this movie was really fun. This movie is really cool. It tells a cool story. Like I said, the makeup, the costuming is fucking dope as hell, and it's a really interesting concept. I would even like to see kind of a remake of this in like now, and using properties that we've been through. Like, you know, would be really cool. Do it low budget. I think it would be really cool. He's at the top of Man's Chinese Theater. He gets shot by one of the snipers, and he gets shot right here. Like right here. And then there's 20 more minutes of him doing this monologue where he gets shot 3 more times, and he keeps going, and then gets shot again, and then finally dies. We don't know what happens to the Marilyn Monroe guy, the Marilyn Monroe girl, because like he gives her more drugs, and he's like, if you want to be with me, just take these. And then we don't know what happens to her. So we don't know if she was really into it or if she wasn't into it. And then that's how the movie ends. This movie was really fucking cool. Really, really cool. This was really fun. I'm so glad I finally got it. I dug this movie. This was really cool. Guys, go check it out. It's as of recording of this video, it is currently on Shout Factory TV. It is also on Prime Video to rent. And like I said, you can go pick it up at Shout Factory or Groove, whatever you want to pick it up. I think Groove is the Canadian arm of it all. I'm not too sure. Where are the rankings, or the ratings, for Fade to Black? I was slightly surprised by these, which is go, Letterboxd is at a 3.2 out of 5. Rotten Tomatoes is a 42% critic score and a 43% audience score, which is kind of interesting that they line up that close to each other. IMDb is a 6.1 out of 10. Where does this lie on my 5-star review scale, the Bloody Star scale, which I don't know if I would consider this a horror movie. I really don't. The story is a 3.5. The cinematography is a 3. The characters are a 3.5. The design is a 4, which brings our total to 3.5. Like, mine lines up perfectly with everybody else's. It's kind of interesting. IMDb seems a little... It seems more correct, but I think I think Rotten Tomatoes is kind of lame because I think this movie is good. I think this movie is fun, and you guys should check it out, definitely. Give us a like, give us a subscribe, help us grow. Thank you so very much, guys, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.